I move on now to lesson 9, which begins with the adjective. Adjectives have the same endings as nouns. Here we have the adjective tov, which means good. And so the masculine singular form is tov. The masculine plural form is tovim. The feminine singular form is tova. And the feminine plural form is tovot. And adjectives follow the same rules of vowel reduction or vowel lengthening and consonant doublings as nouns. And so here you have gadol. If you add a plural ending on gadol, you'll get a tonic syllable, a pretonic syllable, a propretonic syllable beginning with the gimel. Originally had a kamatz. That kamatz must reduce to shava. In the case of rav, well, rav is a geminate, and when you make it into a plural, the doubling shows back up. Again, the root was resh bet bet, and when you make the form plural, the bet returns, and so it goes from rab to rabim with a doubling there. The adjective mar is also a geminate, and when you make it plural, you try to double the resh to indicate the two consonants. But since you cannot put a dog-age in a resh, you compensatory lengthen, and you end up with marim instead. And the same would be true in the feminine form. For gadol, great, it reduces to shava. For rav, much or many, you get rabbah. And with mar is an adjective that means bitter. The feminine form, the patah lengthens to a kamatz because it's a geminate. It's trying to double the resh. You can't double the resh, so you compensatory lengthen instead. And same thing with the feminine plurals as well. Now, certain nouns or adjectives end with a segol hay ending. It would also be true of some nouns. And where you have a segol hay ending, you will delete the segol hay before adding any other ending. So yafeh means beautiful. But then you have yafim. You drop the segol hay, add the hirik yod mem instead. And so you get yafim, beautiful guys. You might say handsome guys. And then you have yafa, a beautiful feminine thing. Could be a beautiful woman, yafa. And then yafot would be beautiful feminine plural things, beautiful women, yafot. But anyway, you drop the segol hay before you add your endings. The way that adjectives are going to work is that they will, well, there's different ways of using adjectives as attributive adjectives, predicate adjectives, and substantive adjectives. As an attributive adjective, simply modifying a noun, it generally will follow the noun that it's modifying and agree with it in gender and number and degree of definiteness. So here you have melech, a indefinite masculine singular noun, and so a good king is melech tov, a king, a good one, a good king. But if you have the article hamelech, the king, well then the adjective has to have the article too, hatov, hamelech hatov, the king, the good one. It means the good king. Or if you have a masculine plural form, here you have both the article and a masculine plural. Eved is servant. When you make a signal it into a plural, it's shabah, kamatz, and plural ending. So you get avadim would be servants, but then add the article, and you have to compensatory lengthen because of the ayin. You get ha avadim, the servants. And if you want to say the good servants, you have to have hatovim, the good ones, where you have the servants and the good ones, and that would mean the good servants. And a great land would be eretz tovah. Land happens to be feminine, and therefore the adjective must be feminine. Even though land doesn't look feminine, you can tell by the adjectives that modify it that it is understood as a feminine noun. And then the good woman would be the woman, the good one, ha'isha, ha'tovah. And so ha'isha, the woman, and then the good one, good, tovah, must be feminine singular, just as isha is feminine singular, must have the article just as the noun has the article. Now, even when you have some gender confusion in the form of the noun, it's going to agree with the actual gender rather than the form. And so, as we said, the plural for father is avot, fathers. And if you want to say good fathers, it would be avot tovim. And so even though this ending, this ot ending, looks very feminine, it turns out that the noun is actually masculine, and therefore the adjective must be masculine. Same thing with the good woman. Women has this herik yod mem masculine looking ending, but since it's obvious that women are feminine, you end up with an adjective hatovot with the ot ending, indicating that the noun is actually a feminine plural noun, even though it looks masculine from the herik yod mem ending of it. So that's attributed adjectives. But then you have predicate adjectives, and this is where you have a sentence. An example is, if you want to say the king is good, you could say tov hamelech. The word king has the article, the word tov will not. And that's kind of a telltale sign that this should be understood as a sentence. If you take the word order as given, it would be good is the king. But then you would smooth that out into English, the king is good. Or you could have tovot ha-nashim, good ones, good feminine ones are the women, and so the women are good. And you could actually get away with changing the word order. You could say hamelech tov, and that would also mean the king is good. It'd be a little more confusable since the adjective is following the noun, but if it's modifying a definite noun, it would have to have the article with it too. It would have to be hamelech hatov rather than hamelech tov. Hamelech tov means the king is good. Hamelech hatov is the good king. So the lack of the article on the adjective and the having the article on the noun is a way of indicating that that is a verbless sentence. When the noun that the adjective modifies is indefinite, does not have the article, the context will be determine what the meaning is. So again, you can have ish gadol. That could mean a man is great or a great man. Has some ambiguity. It's a matter of context. Now, if you have more than one adjective modifying a noun, those attributive or predicate adjectives can be joined together with the conjunction the. So if you want to say the good and beautiful women, it would be the women, hanashim, the good ones, hatovot, and the beautiful ones, vehayafot. The women, the good ones, and the beautiful ones, but it means the good and beautiful women. But if you want to say the women are good and beautiful, the adjectives will lack the article. So it will be tovot, veyafot, hanashim. good and beautiful, both feminine plural adjectives, are the women. And the fact that the noun has the article, but the adjectives lack the article, means that you should interpret these as predicate adjectives, hence as a sentence. The other thing to be said about adjectives is that adjectives can be used as substantives, that is, as nouns. So hatovim could mean the good ones and be modifying. You could say ha-anashim hatovim, the men, the good ones, the good men. But used by itself, hatovim could mean the good ones, meaning the good men, or the good whatever other thing is in the context. And so that in this case the adjective is being used as if it were a noun, and likewise hara, the bad one, can mean the evil one or that which is evil. It could be a person or a thing. Hara, the evil thing or the evil person. The evil hara could be a synonym for the devil. In the New Testament it's used that way anyway. Let me move on to section 9.3, comparisons using mean or ka. The way that you make a comparison is very typically by using a preposition mean. If you want to say that wisdom is better than gold, what you would actually say is tova, good, hokmah, wisdom, mizahav, good wisdom from gold. So wisdom is good from gold. Wisdom is better than gold. Same thing with David is greater than Saul. Gadol David Mishaul, excuse me. Gadol David Mishaul. Good is David. By the way, personal names are considered definite, so that always would have to be a sentence when good is before the noun. Good is David from Saul, but it means David is better than Saul. Or if you want to say that the work is too difficult for me, you would say difficult, kasha, feminine ending, kashe is the dictionary form, ha'avodah, difficult the work, mi na'arim, difficult is the work from the lads, but what it means is that the work is too difficult for the lads. It's kind of a special idiom in Hebrew that you would put it this way. And so if you're comparing things, there's not a, like we would say better or greater with an ER sort of thing, but it uses this syntactical construction instead. You can also do some comparison of equality with preposition ka. And so you want to say something is white like something else, then you would use ka. So Lavan ka sheleg. Sheleg is snow. Lavan is white. Lavan ka sheleg, white like the snow, white as snow. And so that's kind of a comparison too, but of a little bit different nature. Well, anyway, we will finish this in the next video.